here is we're going to try something new. A Dutch Oven Strawberry-Rhubarb Cobbler. So we've got about a quart of home-picked strawberries that I picked. Got some rhubarb from traded some garlic for. We're going to put a little bit of lemon juice, some sugar. I'm using cornstarch instead of flour as a thickener. And I pre-mixed a lot of the dry ingredients here. So I pre-mixed the sugar, the cornstarch, the cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Got the brown sugar for the topping. So we're going to take the strawberries, the rhubarb, the lemon, sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, and salt. And we're going to mix that all up in this bowl and get it nice and coated. And that'll thicken. We're going to pour that in the Dutch oven that I've got pre-set up here with a parchment paper.
Now what's the purpose of that?
So I don't have to clean it that hard.
Excellent.
Okay. Normally it wouldn't bother me, but tonight I don't feel like cleaning hard, so we're going to do that. It would work just fine without it. So we'll put that in. Then I've got, we're going to take some butter. We're going to cut up some pats of butter and put on top of all that. Put down the biscuits on top of that, and then sprinkle some brown sugar on top of that. And we're going to see how it turns out. It's a bit of an experiment, never done it, so we're going to dump our rhubarb.
All I need is a pet.
In here.
I think it's pretty obvious he's going to die.
And then we're going to dump in our strawberries.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way he'll survive.
And of course, every good cook, you got to try the ingredients.
I think he could die.
You need to make sure it's safe for everyone.
That's tart.
I hope they keep Dr. Strange.
And then we're going to take,
Because if they get rid of him,
probably should have got a bigger bowl, but
you know.
sprinkle some of this on like so.
So Nick, how's life?
Try and mix this up a little bit.
How's Sean?
And all we're trying to do here is get our sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, and salt mixture to kind of just coat everything roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect.
On that song, just sing a song like how, like... Yeah, but it was like the song, you showed him the song and you didn't let us see it.
And all of this is going to sweeten this up, and then it'll thicken up into hopefully a pie filling sort of thing. At least that's what I'm guessing it is. Really bad. And I've pre-mixed everything at home, so I didn't have to do it out here because I'm lazy.
I think that's just a little more convenient.
I think it's very convenient. And I think I'm happy with that. So we've got everything coated. Take this. Put this in here. Get all the goodness out of the bowl. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to go that way. And I took the lemons and I just squeezed them up a little bit first.
Have you tried this recipe before?
I have not. This is an experiment, so it'll either be really good or probably tasty and somewhat of a disaster, but we'll see.
It's hard to disappoint hungry scouters.
You got it. There we go. A little bit of lemon juice. Now we're going to cut the butter up here.
If you had cheese, would you cut that?
No, I wouldn't. That would be Steve's job.
Okay.
He has the job of cheese cutting. And we're just going to spread this around a little bit.
There's more in the box.
And I'm always about more butter.
It's hard to overdo butter. People seem to like it.
I would have to tend to agree with that statement.
Hey, Chris, Milo.
I must say that I think there is one thing I would have done, and I didn't think about it until we got out here, is I would have brought some whipped cream with me.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't.
Note to self for next time.
Exactly. If it turns out real good, we'll do it again. If it doesn't, well, we'll just file this away.
So that's a stick and a half of butter, 2 sticks, something like that?
Yeah, whatever I felt like putting in there.
Okay.
I used leftover butter from breakfast, and then to do this without dumping them on the ground this time. I'm just saying. And then the final topping, we're just going to throw some brown sugar, and I'm going to use my fingers here.
So it seems like having all your ingredients divided, pre-mixed, pre-cut, pre-everything really cuts down on the time, because what do you got into this now, 10 minutes maybe?
Maybe.
Because you did so much prep prior to arriving.
Exactly. You know, and I like to do that, especially with like Mountain Man and stuff. I'll pre-cook or pre-chop up the pepper, onion, whatever I'm doing. But you know, this time we did it out here just because I ran short of time. But yeah, I like to do all my prep work at home. I save, good tip, save your lunch meat plastic containers. And you put your stuff in them, and when you're done, if you don't want to save it, you just pinch it. You know, you get a little bit of reuse or whatnot. So there we go.
No, guys, don't put that stuff in.
I will probably reuse this. And we're going to put this down. And I think we're going to be good here. We're going to go over.
So you did pre-start some briquettes prior to the other prep.
Yeah.
Get those going. Those take a little longer than
They
your
did.
prep.
They did, especially since you pre-do everything at home.
Oh, you live in the well up here.
And I'm not really sure what temperature I'm going to go for. Probably shoot for probably about 200 on the outside, which would probably mean it's about 325 inside. You just have to see. Cast iron's kind of cold.
Guys, don't blow on it. It's good the way it is.
There we go. Rocking about 160 on the side, so
And what do you think it's been on the heat for? 10 minutes?
yeah, roughly about that. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, I'm thinking we're going to need to put a little bit more underneath though. A lot of that stuff was frozen, so
So when you looked at it, what did you see that made you think that?
I could hear it sizzling a little bit, and I could see that the frozen berries were starting to melt. So, and it's cold out, so I think we'll put it back on like this and see how we do. But we may have to put it up just a little bit. It's kind of hit or miss. You know, on a day like this charcoal is already burning down. So, I like bigger briquettes. Bigger ones are better.
So when it comes to briquettes, size matters.
Yes, size matters.
Okay.
Size always matters.
Okay. Everything's bigger in Texas and all that stuff.
Exactly. Probably Georgia too.
No, don't. No more.
Just trying to find the rambling wreck.
How long has it been?
Got been close to 15, 20?
15 to 20.
Ooh.
Bubbly.
Yeah.
What do you see there?
It's bubbling very nicely. The butter's melting. Biscuits are kind of getting done. There's brown sugar starting to melt. It may end up being a little bit soupy, and only because everything was frozen, so we didn't really drain it. So it may not thicken up much, but my hope is that it tastes good. Take a biscuit off, bust it up, and then put some of that fruit on the bottom in there.
So what do you think your temperature looks like? Not how much, but Are you right where you want to be? Whatever it is.
Yeah, I took the side temperature a little bit ago, and it was about, I think about 250, 250. So we'll see what we get here.
I got it out.
Now those look like burgers. Yeah, they'll good hamburgers.
Yeah, it's running about 250. So internal, I'm probably guessing 325, 350.
Okay.
So we'll let it boil a little bit. Maybe we might put a little bit more coal, a couple more coals on top just to top it off and let the bottom die out so it doesn't burn. And as soon as this comes off, which I'm not real sure, but I don't think it, the recipe said about 15 minutes is all it really said. So we'll get it nice and boiling and see what happens. Oh yeah. Turn that once more, about another 5 minutes. And might give it a little chef taste and see how we did. You ready?
Yes, sir. Caramelized goodness there.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
Nice.
Still warm.
All right. Hold it there till they're ready. Good.
All right. Who's next?
It's a runner. Good.